Well, we're doing a Pokemon story today. It's rated K, so that's hopefully a good sign. All I know is that I won't have to worry about reading porn this time around like I did in the last episode. Surprisingly, the creator wasn't really mad about me quitting. I think she had the same feelings that I had after a while, so... And I think also ever since that, incident where she decided to make me read 2 parts in a row of Spanish Fly, I think ever since that incident she's been a little more lenient, so there's that, if there is something positive that came out of that fiasco. Right, so today's story is called Bubble Buddies. The author is, I'm probably going to mangle this, Saurais Parisa. It's rated K. It's in English. It's Hurt Comfort Friendship. It has an original character, Popplio Ashimari, has 2,446 words, 19 reviews, 36 faves, 8 follows, and it was published back in May of 2016. Here's a summary. I didn't think there would ever be a light at the end of the tunnel. No, I had extinguished that light before it could ever shine. Now it was back and shining so bright I couldn't see. I found a friend. Maybe we can be bubble buddies, since we both love bubbles. A one-shot about Popplio because he needs more love. My first memory was being able to swim around Professor Harlow's pond. I had that pond all to myself. Every day I would swim and play to my heart's content. Sometimes I would even blow big bubbles out of my nose and try to use them to fly. Of course, they would pop and I would plop to the ground. After all, we Popplio are known for being silly but endearing. They were right. I was silly. I like to tell jokes and play around and blow bubbles out of my nose. Out of my nose, sorry. But other than that, nobody liked me. I mean, all the rowlets before me always liked watching me blow bubbles and sometimes even wanting to be stuck inside of them. All the Littens before me always ignored me and did whatever they wanted all by themselves. I didn't mind, but whenever humans would come by and pick their first friend, they would all be excited. Every time the humans came, I begged and prayed to be put on a bunch of silly performances, whether it be doing backflips or doing tricks with my bubbles, also they would pick me. Nobody did. It was always either Rowlet or Litten. I'd come into the lab with sparkling eyes and big smiles, only for my heart to be shattered into pieces as I watched all of the Rowlets and Littens before me be carried off to bright futures. Nobody would ever pick me. I would always tell myself it wasn't all bad. Somebody would come by and pick you sometime. It wouldn't be now, maybe in the future. I had always lived every day, clinging to that hope, no matter how small it would get. However, my hopes would always be shattered, especially when I would try to beg new trainers to pick me. I'd do anything. I'd do backflips and front flips, and there were times I did a slip and fall, and that always made them laugh. I would always try to laugh it off, as they were laughing too, but it actually hurt. They weren't laughing because they found me funny. They were laughing because I failed and I looked so stupid. Most trainers who came by always had mean things to say to me. That thing looks so stupid. You're not cute at all. Go away. My Litten's way cooler than you. No, sweetie, pick Rowlet or Litten. That creature is so terribly mischievous. I don't want my daughter to have that Pokemon. No way, I'd die before I ever chose a Popplio. Why would I pick a Popplio? I want a Litten right now. Nobody wants a Popplio. Rowlet and Litten are way cooler. Their words would always strike me right through me, like an arrow hitting a target right in a bullseye. Every day, the painful rejections, I would return to the pond and cry all by myself, where nobody would see me. I didn't want anyone to see me cry, but it was hard. I couldn't contain my sadness. Every day I would be rejected over and over and over again, and even though I had been used to it, it always hurt every single time. I couldn't understand. What was it about me that nobody liked? Did I do something wrong? Am I really as stupid-looking as they say? Am I ugly, stupid, worthless, good for nothing? I didn't want to be alone. I had big dreams I wanted to fulfill. One time, Professor Harlow took us Pokemon to a region close to Alola called Kalos. He wanted to catch something called a Pokemon showcase and watch Pokemon performers. As often as the spotlight shone down on the trainers and the Pokemon, I was entranced. I saw trainers and Pokemon working together using attacks to make a show. Trainers and Pokemon running around, dancing, leaping, jumping, floating, helping each other out, and using their attacks in ways that I had no idea were possible. The crowds would roar in applause, their hands clapping so hard their palms would sting. I couldn't help but clap my fins whenever a performance would end. I would be so entranced that I wouldn't notice anything else around me. That was when my dream was born. I wanted to be in Pokemon showcases. I wanted to make bubbles with my nose and bounce on them, do backflips and front flips, jump around and dance like no one was watching, and make everyone who watched me smile and laugh. I wanted to travel and see new places and new Pokemon. I wanted to put on shows and do tricks and make audiences worldwide smile and enjoy whatever I would display. I wanted to make bubbles and bounce on them and use them to make my performances dazzle the audience. But I was sure that dream was destroyed before I even had a chance to cultivate it. If nobody wanted to pick me a Popplio, then what was the point of even chasing that dream? Besides, most trainers nowadays wanted to battle these places called gyms, participate in the Pokemon League, and try to defeat the champion, whoever that was. I was never real good at battles. Whenever I would battle all the Rowlets and Littens, I would always lose, which was especially bad when I would battle Littens because I'm a water type, and water was strong against fire types. Still, even Littens would beat me. I didn't even know but I didn't mind not being good at battles. I liked performing better. Even after so many months, nobody would pick me, all because they wanted Rowlets or Littens, or thought I looked ugly or stupid. It always hurt so bad. The loneliness was absolutely suffocating. Even though I'm a water-type Pokemon, I always feel like I was drowning, being pulled down to the bottom, my lungs burning from the pain, smothering me, drowning me, devouring me with its crushing jaws. I wasn't sure if I could go on like this. I even stopped praying and just cried. Someone help. Please, help me. Be my friend. I don't want to be alone. Then one day, Arceus seemed to hear me, as my prayers had been answered one cloudy morning. It started off as a normal day, like usual. There were new Rowlets and Littens being brought into the lab. Once again, we would be presented to a new trainer with the hopes that we would be their friend forever. I used to look forward to these days, but after a lifetime of continual rejection, I didn't even bother to smile. I just looked down, away from everyone's eyes. I always figured that I wasn't going to be picked no matter what. Curiosity got the better of me as I peeked out the door. Oddly enough, I saw two people come into the lab, a woman and a young girl, instead of the usual one trainer. I had assumed that the girl was going to be the trainer who would pick either Rowlet or Litten. She looked about 11 or 12, with black hair stretching down to her shoulders, with the curled ends bouncing every time she walked. Resting on her head was an old pink hat, with the top part resembling either a flower or a piece of coral. Her light skin contrasted with her dark hair, but her purple eyes were sparkling like jewels. She was wearing a pale yellow shirt, with the bottom's part tied in hasty ribbon, turquoise green shorts, and red-black sneakers. Both the girl and the older woman, I assumed she was her mother, sat down in some chairs. I could hear Professor Harlow's sandals scraping the floor as he walked, and I hid behind the door. Hold on one moment. Hi, honey. Hello. Are you coming in to see what Mommy's doing? Are you coming in to see what Mommy's doing, dearie? Come here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, good morning, my boy. Oh, right. Let's continue to read. Okay. I could hear Harlow's sandals scraping the floor as he walked. I hid behind the door, taking care not to make a sound. I even squeezed my eyes shut, allowing floppy ears to pick up the conversation that was going on in the next room. Want to go on the bed, love? Right. On bed we go. There you go. There's a good boy. Sorry about that. Don't mind the cat. Gonna settle, love. Alright. There you go, dear. Hello, you must be Mrs. Lincoln. It's so nice to meet you. Likewise, this is my daughter, McKaylee. Hello, Professor. I could hear a sweet, cheerful voice come right out of the girl's mouth. She sounded nice. Hello, McKaylee. I take it you're here to get a Pokemon. Yep, I got my trainer's license in the mail. I'm glad you're excited, dearie. Professor Harlow sounds happy. I just need to talk to your mother for a while. Then I can show you what Pokemon we have. Okay. I heard footsteps walking away. On impulse, I found myself pushing the door outward and crawling into the next room. I don't know why I did that, but it would soon be the best decision I ever made. As soon as I heard my tail slap the floor beneath me, Michaeli's head whipped around. I looked up and we made eye contact. I was frozen as I watched her jaw drop rather ungracefully. Soon that wide, open mouth morphed into a smile. She suddenly stood up from the chair and walked right up to me, kneeling down so we could meet at eye level. "Aw," she crooned, her purple eyes glimmering. "You're so cute." Before I could comprehend what was going on, she used her hands to pick me right up and pull me into a hug. To say I was shocked would be an understatement. Nobody I had met before had ever done this to me before. Whenever anyone would see me, they would look at me with either scorn, disgust, or contempt. She was the first person who was ever happy to see me. "What?" I barked without meaning to. "I heard Popplio were cute, but you're even cute in person," Michaeli squealed, her cheeks turning pink from smiling so much. My heart turned warm, and I found myself speechless. She called me cute. The only person who had ever called me that in my life was Professor Holla, and she only just met me. Again, on impulse, I found myself nuzzling her face with my own. Her cheeks were so soft and warm. "Hee, thank you," Michaeli giggled, the moment our skin touched. "You're so sweet." The more we talked, the more enamored I was with her. Even more so when I noticed the green border next to her. Obviously, since the label was written in human letters, I couldn't read it even if I wanted to. But I saw pictures of round blue spheres on it and recognized them immediately. They were bubbles. I couldn't resist. I looked up and I used my pink nose to make a huge bubble pop right out, inflating it with every breath I exhaled. Soon the bubble got so big, it was bigger than Michaeli's head. "Wow!" Michaeli just stared at the big bubble I made, completely starry-eyed. "You like bubbles? Me too." She unscrewed the cap on the bottle, dipping some stick inside, and then blew it. With a gentle breath, a bubble was born. It didn't grow any bigger than my nose, but it was so beautiful I could see the light from the fluorescent light form little rainbow-like ripples as it danced on the air. I found myself bending over just to watch it as it floated aimlessly. I bent so far I fell out of the girl's arm, though I did manage to catch myself and land right on my tail with no effort. Michaeli put the bottle away and clapped at my efforts. The bubble popped just as fast. "Not only are you cute, but funny too," Michaeli squealed, her smile bright as a sunflower. It was here that Professor Holla and Michaeli's mother came back into the room. The two of them turned to face me, finally noticing my presence. Looks like Popplio's gotten impatient," Professor Holla noted. I was so lost in my thoughts that I didn't see Michaeli stand up. "Mom, please, can I have Popplio as my first Pokemon?" Hearing those words was like music to my ears. It was as though the angels had come down from heaven, finally answering my prayers. My eyes snapped open, and my jaw fell rather ungracefully. I was sure my ears were playing tricks on me, but they weren't. Did she just say she wanted me? Michaeli's mother crossed her arms. "Will you take care of it?" "Of course I will. I'll do anything." The mother smiled before turning to Professor Holla. "Is that all right, Professor?" "I don't see why not." He kneeled down to my level. "You've waited so long, Popplio." "Yes, I have." He has no idea how long I've waited for this day. Waiting for someone to like me, see me, and want me as their friend. Soon Michaeli picked me back up. "Looks like we're going to be best friends forever, Popplio," Michaeli exclaimed, her cheeks turning rosy pink. "We'll have a great time together." I didn't think there would ever be a light at the end of the tunnel. No, I had extinguished that light before it could ever shine. Now it was back, and shining so bright I couldn't see. I didn't hesitate. I threw my fins around Michaeli's neck and cried into a shirt. Finally, someone saved me from my seemingly internal loneliness. No, it wasn't internal. She was that light, and she brought my loneliness to an end. I had found what I had always wanted, a human trainer, a friend who I can cherish, and who will love me. Thank you, Michaeli. Thank you for loving me. I know I'll be the best friend you'll ever have. We can have bubble buddies. Well, we can be bubble buddies, since we both like bubbles. It's a promise. Here's the author's note. So, yes, the sun and moon starters are revealed, and poor, sweet baby Popplio got the short end of the stick. It's a pity, because I think he's an adorable little snuggly sea lion, but I do like the other starters too. I wrote this fanfic because of a bout of inspiration, and because I felt bad for Popplio. Yes, this is based on that old webcomic someone drew about Oshawott called Same Colors, which is very good. But instead of colors, it involves bubbles, because bucking bubbles... Oh, I know what they're referencing. And they changed the letter so it can still be K+, but I know exactly what this is referencing. For those who don't know, 2 words, Nostalgia Critic. Hope you enjoyed this stupid little one-shot. I actually enjoyed it a lot. After the last story, which was pure porn, it was nice to read a good story for once. And this has probably been the first good story that I've read in a while. So I'm very pleased with this. Very pleased with it. No spelling mistakes at all. It was well written, you know, a nice sweet story. And, you know, if you're a Popplio fan, I'm sure you had great joy in reading it. Personally, I've never chosen the Pokemon myself when I've played the games, but that's because I just have a preference for the fire type. Usually I choose the fire types, and sometimes the water types. And the grass types depending on what the typage is. But that's that. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you on the next episode. Until then, cheerio.